Get ready for explosive action and unbelievable drama. Fight fans. Sean Strickland is firing shots, and he's pointing the finger directly at the UFC, blasting them for their handling of the volatile Khamzat Chimaev. Strickland is convinced that if things boil over between him and Boers, before their massive UFC 328 middleweight title showdown, the blame lies squarely with the promotion, as he warned of his own extreme measures. This isn't just about a belt anymore, it's personal, and Strickland is making it clear the UFC needs to get a grip.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSockets Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
But the shakeups don't stop there. We're talking a seismic shift in the heavyweight division as the fan favorite Johnny Walker is reportedly making the move up. Walker is targeting a massive heavyweight debut at UFC Belgrade against the powerful Ante Delija. After a string of tough fights, could a fresh start at 205 pounds be the key to unlocking Walker's full potential and reigniting his championship dreams? You won't want to miss this divisional shakeup. And speaking of big moves, former middleweight kingpin Robert Whittaker is officially heading to light heavyweight. The Reaper is set to make his 205-pound debut at UFC 329 this July, taking on the dangerous Nikita Krylov. After a career spent at the top of the middleweight mountain, can Whittaker conquer a new division and reclaim his place among the UFC elite? Get ready for a new era from one of the sport's most exciting fighters. Finally, the man himself, Khamzat Chimaev, is eyeing more than just UFC gold. He's openly discussing a potential Zuffa Boxing showdown with none other than Conor McGregor, calling it good money. Chimaev insists he's staying with the UFC, but the allure of a massive payday against the Notorious is clearly on his mind. Could we see these two megastars clash in the boxing ring? Subscribe now and hit the bell so you don't miss a single second of the hottest combat sports news. Tensions are escalating ahead of UFC 328, as middleweight champion Sean Strickland places blame squarely on the UFC for the volatile animosity brewing between himself and challenger Khamzat Chimaev. The championship bout on May 9th has been overshadowed by a heated war of words, with Chimaev reportedly threatening street-level confrontations and Strickland issuing stark warnings about armed retaliation. Strickland voiced his concerns via X, stating, "The UFC is trying to limit my interactions with the dog. Listen, I will say this now. I will not be controlled by a third-world dog. If I find there is unequal treatment between our camps, I will walk to the lobby and wait for him. Control your whore or don't. I don't care." He insists he will not be dictated to, especially if he perceives unfair treatment of his team. Despite Chimaev's coach dismissing Strickland's gun talk as nonsense and claiming Chimaev finds it amusing, the UFC is taking the threats seriously. CEO Dana White has confirmed that increased security will be present during Media Day events to prevent any incidents. The volatile nature of this rivalry has drawn comparisons to the post-fight brawl that erupted after Khabib Nurmagomedov's victory over Conor McGregor in 2018, raising concerns about potential spillover violence, not just during Media Week, but also in the post-fight aftermath. The question remains whether the UFC can effectively manage these combustible personalities and keep the lid on simmering tensions as fight night approaches. Get ready for a seismic shift in the heavyweight division, as UFC veteran Johnny Walker is reportedly being targeted for a move up to the big boys for UFC Belgrade. Sources close to the promotion have confirmed to MMA Fighting that a bout between Walker and former PFL champion Ante Delija is in the works for the August 1st event at Belgrade Arena in Serbia. Verbal agreements are in place, with contracts expected to be finalized shortly. This move comes after a string of recent performances that have left fans wanting more, including a split decision loss to Dominic Reyes at UFC 327 in April. With only 2 wins in his last 6 outings, and after intensive training sessions with heavyweight powerhouses like Francis Ngannou, Walker is seeking a revitalized career start in a new weight class. His opponent, Delija, joined the UFC with a bang, securing a first-round finish against Marcin Tybura in November. However, he's since faced back-to-back losses against Waldo Cortsacosta and Sergey Spivak, making this a crucial fight for both contenders looking to make their mark. Get ready for a seismic shift in the light heavyweight division as former middleweight King Robert Whittaker makes his highly anticipated debut at 205 pounds. The Australian powerhouse is set to clash with veteran contender Nikita Krylov at UFC 329 on July 11th, live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. This move marks a significant career change for Whittaker, who has long been a dominant force in the middleweight ranks, boasting an impressive 14-5 record that includes his interim and undisputed championship victories. After recent setbacks, Whittaker is looking to reignite his career in a new weight class. Meanwhile, Krylov, though experiencing a mixed run since his return in 2025, is seeking a career-defining victory. Having recently snapped a losing streak with a decisive finish over Modestas Bukauskas at UFC 324, Krylov now has the opportunity to catapult himself back into contention with a win over a former world champion. This bout promises to be a thrilling addition to the stacked UFC 329 card during International Fight Week. Khamzat Chimaev, the undefeated UFC middleweight champion, has expressed an openness to a high-profile boxing match against Conor McGregor under the Zuffa Boxing banner. Chimaev, who is set to defend his title against Sean Strickland at UFC 328 on May 9th, stated that financial incentives are a significant motivator for him. He clarified that he has no intention of transitioning to professional boxing, but sees a bout with McGregor as a lucrative opportunity. Chimaev cited McGregor's precedent of competing in boxing while under UFC contract, referencing his 2017 fight against Floyd Mayweather. Acknowledging McGregor's boxing prowess within the UFC, Chimaev believes the matchup would be exciting and profitable, humorously noting McGregor's superior verbal sparring abilities compared to Strickland. The undefeated fighter also revealed that McGregor's swift knockout of Jose Aldo, which propelled him to UFC featherweight stardom, significantly influenced Chimaev's own MMA aspirations, partly due to the reported earnings from that bout. He emphasized that the potential fight would not be personal, as McGregor has not wronged him, but rather an appealing prospect for substantial financial gain and an intriguing challenge.